Good morning to you. I don't know if I'm lucky to be the first speaker or, if I'm going to give the good start to your conference day today. I'm hoping so. So my name is Mihaela-Roxana Ghidersa, and today I just want to have a conversation with you. Just sit and wonder about these things that we can do with AI in our day-to-day work. Maybe learn something from each other. I'll share some stuff, maybe you can share some stuff. I saw that there is some action in the AI area in the room, so I'm hopeful that everything will be just fine. A little bit about myself. I like to speak. That's one of the first things that I can say about myself. I like to speak mostly about tech stuff, but not only. I'm a Microsoft MVP on developer technologies, and on my day-to-day job, I'm a technical lead at Signant Health. And when I'm not geeking around and doing techy stuff, I just want to go outside, hike, do some cycling, climb something. So, I'm just trying to get away from the tech part and just find my creativity again. So very happy to be with you here today. The weather outside is amazing. I can't wait to discover this city. It's just a nice vibe today, right? Isn't it? Who is very excited about the day? I like the spirit. Okay, let's do this. So today I want us to delve into how artificial intelligence, but specifically on these tools, we're discussing about ChatGPT and Copilot, how we can use them in a way that they can transform our day-to-day work in the development area, because, AI is a very wide area and we would need days to discuss, and I don't think we would have a conclusion. Things are still getting shaped, things are still getting clarified, so we are just going to focus on how can I use as a developer this tool in order to, be more efficient, do my work better, and have some learning, some lessons learned in the process. So this is exactly what we are going to look into it. We are going to look a bit on how is this impacting our day-to-day work, then how we can use them either in our IDE or as it is for ChatGPT, how we can just get ideas out of it, and then discuss some best practices or maybe integration steps that we can take, things to look into, just trying to touch the surface of how this amazing domain is helping us, or it can help. And I'm curious, okay, I saw that there is some action on the AI area. Who uses ChatGPT? Nice. Who uses Copilot? Also nice. Everyone, look around, because these people might have insights that maybe I don't have, so you know who to speak in the coffee break when you want to network and want to learn more about the topic. So it's clear, by looking at the show of hands, that AI is going to reshape our industry, right? We feel it. We are integrating this concept in everything that is happening around us. It's helping us a lot on the efficiency part. Basically, it's automating a lot of tasks that we were doing, repetitive tasks such as generating code and testing, and is making us more efficient in order to deliver our projects, and also is helping us on minimizing the error, the human error that we can do because of, life happening every day, so sometimes we just get away with some errors in our code, which is human. Well, your project manager might not understand this, but still, it's human. And, as everything that is happening, that it's new, that it's challenging, that it's reshaping something, there are some, I'm not going to call them myths, they might become myths, right now are just some ideas that we hear around, and they are not that true as they might seem. For example, how many of you have heard that AI is going to replace you completely? How many of you really believe that? I'm happy to see this because I'm going against that idea, so yeah, I'm happy that I'm making friends today, and we are still going to discuss about this after the presentation. So basically, indeed, AI is here to enhance, to help us, make our processes more efficient, our work more efficient, but is never going to be able, or at least right now, with the capabilities that it has right now, and in the next years, is not going to replace, our, let's say, human touch in development. We are discussing about the expertise that we have, the way that we as human beings are analyzing the context that we are working with, the way that we prioritize things in order to comply with the context that we have. What I really think instead is that a developer that is not interested in evolving, in learning more about AI, or is just staying in that corner doing their same job every day, is definitely going to be replaced by a developer that is actually trying to learn more, that is trying to find out more about, okay, what are the new tools? How can I be more efficient? How can I be a better developer? So you can think about this in this way. As long as you are, connected to what is happening in this domain, and what are the things that we are doing in order to enhance the work that we do every day, I think you're fine. I think you're safe. Then the fact that AI is just solving everything. Like, as long as you put AI into your code, you're fine. You don't have to do anything. It's solving bugs, is doing everything for you. You just, be in a one-day coffee break every day. Well, it's not like that. AI can give suggestions, can analyze the context that we have, can work around by giving suggestions, by completing what we started, but it's not capable yet to prioritize, to get the context of where those bugs are, what is the best solution for the context where we are having. So it's a long way until that point. Also, that working with AI, it's something that's effortless. Like, AI is something that happened overnight, and from now on, it's perfect and it's going to go just like that. Well, if we ask people that are working in this area, that are tuning, that are maintaining these models, working with them, they are going to tell you that is a lot of work and we need a lot of maintenance in that area. So it's not something that is that simple, and that you're just doing it like this and the magic happens in your code base. So as long as we go, going after these myths, or just trying to open our mind to the new trends, we are going to find out that actually these AI tools are going to make our work more efficient. It's going to help us in reducing the mistakes that we are doing in our code, in our day-to-day development processes that we have. Also, the algorithms that they have help us a lot in the problem-solving part. So we are going to be helped to see patterns in data or in the code that we are working with every day. I'm not just even going to go back to the tools because we are going to discuss about this, but yes, we by using this kind of or looking into this domain, we can see that we have tools that are going to help us, such as ChatGPT, Copilot, and so on. And last but not least, AI, it's very smart at understanding the user experience and the way that it can interact with user needs. And I want us to stop a bit in here, because I'm sure that you've been hearing about this concept a lot lately, which is the prompting part. And in order to be efficient and to get the best results out of these tools, and to use them as something that it's enhancing your work and it's not actually making you slower, we need to understand how to discuss with them, how to ask for exactly what we need. So prompting is actually the process of interacting with these tools in order to get the best out of it, the best output. And there are some directions that we can look into, although there are some particularities that we might have to consider depending on the tool. If you're working with something that is processing data, or maybe that is going to give you images or text and so on. So there are some differences maybe here and there, but there are some general rules that we need to look into it. First, give clear instructions to your tool. So what we are discussing about it, tell them exactly in detail what is the persona that they need to consider. For example, maybe I'm trying to get a review on my code. I'm not sure, and I have this colleague that is very annoying and is always very harsh with the code reviews. So I just want to, get the best code that I can this time, and I'm just asking ChatGPT, okay, can you give me a review on this, like this person, and this is, by using JavaScript best practices and so on. So be very specific. Also, besides creating this context, also give information exactly related to the type of output that you want. So for example, if you are looking for a JSON format, you need some data maybe generated, specify that. If you need it in text, specify it in text. If you need this review, for example, that we were discussing about, and you don't want only the code to be corrected and you just take it and put it into your IDE, but more like you want also explanations for each of the mistakes that you've been doing. Specify that, I want the code, and I also want the explanation for the review that we are making. Also, AI is a very nice tool, but it's not a magical tool. You are going to discover, or most of you already discovered, that it's not going to give you the perfect desired response from the beginning. You have to go back over and over again in order for it to understand what you want, and also for yourself to educate, to educate yourself in order to be specific, give context, be clear in your request. A thing that I was a bit shocked while I was learning myself about prompting is the fact that it seemed to me that we are more interested into how to prompt AIs than how to actually ask to the people around us, what we want. So when someone doesn't understand what I'm trying to say, I'm like whatever, just leave it like that. I'll ask someone else. But when the AI doesn't understand, I'm like, oh, please, just tell me this. I'm sorry, I wasn't precise. Let me try again. So this AI part is going to teach us a lot about communication, I think. It's already doing this. So always try to learn from the responses, but not only when it comes to AI. This is like a side note also with your colleagues, maybe product people, designers, and so on, with whomever you are interacting day by day. And last but not least, understand AI's capabilities. Sometimes it's just not going to give you the whole response that you are expecting. It's going to give you an idea, or it's going to give you some direction. And that is okay. Things are still evolving into that, in that area, so you can learn step by step how to get the best out of it. So we are discussing about these tools and just mentioning them here and there. You're saying that you are using ChatGPT, so I'm not going to go very much into details, but I'm going to highlight some of the things that are maybe most helpful for developers. Of course, we can use ChatGPT for a lot of other tasks. For example, I'm using it right now to generate my vacation for this summer. So we're not really into the same kind of things, but I'm trying there. I'm just trying. I don't think I've been putting so much effort with my friends when we're scheduling something as I'm doing with this tool, so that's funny. But still, going back to the coding part, it provides code suggestions. As I was saying, you can go and ask exactly, maybe you're stuck at some point with your code, so you just go and ask some information in there on how you can continue if you are blocked. It also explains some concepts, For example, let's say that you are a new developer in the team. Maybe you're switching from another project or another technology. You're switching, and please, in here, again, you're switching from Angular to JavaScript. Any reactions in here? No. Everyone, it's okay with any sort of language. Cool. So let's say I'm just switching, I don't know all the inner workings or the details, so at some point I'm stuck and I'm just, okay, help me do this, I have to do this thing, but I'm not sure exactly if this is correct. We're discussing also about code reviews, as we had already the example from before. Debugging, for example, when I'm having an error, yeah, maybe I'm running a command that it's not complete, or I have some issues. I can use it to give me feedback and to let me know exactly what is happening in there and how can I improve it. Maybe I'm just trying to learn something new. I don't know, maybe I'm just switching, as I was saying, from I've been doing all my life JavaScript, and now I want to learn TypeScript, yeah? So there are some differences in there, and I want to understand them. Like, I'm a good programmer, but I don't know all the details. I can get some help in there. ChatGPT can explain some details about that. And of course, we can request code from it. Yeah, just do this. I need this information. I'm a bit lazy today, and I don't want to find the best solution, so please, you do it for me. I'm kidding, we are not lazy. It's other colleagues. So basically, it's helping us with these repetitive tasks that we have to do. So I'm just thinking, okay, give me a function that is doing generically this action so that I don't have to do it over and over again, or just maybe split some of this code. I have a very big function. I'm not sure exactly how to split it. Please split it for me and show me what is the best way to do it. Then, going further to GitHub Copilot, basically we are discussing about a tool that it's more if with ChatGPT I can also create my vacation for the summer. With GitHub Copilot, I'm working a bit more focused on the coding part. I used it mostly on Visual Studio Code. So the cool thing about this tool is that it's working, yeah, it's creating its context basically, taking into account a very wide spectrum of public repositories. So this makes it capable of understanding and coming with suggestions of, best practices and patterns, yeah, determining patterns and things that would go best into our code. Maybe some of the things that we can mention about it, and then we can go a bit into analyzing how this actually is taking our context and how does it know exactly how to do the best, to give us the best solution. So basically, maybe the ones that are using already, if the ones that didn't, just open your laptops and give it a try. It's helping in code refactoring, yeah. It's giving us suggestions on how to fix something, how to make it better. In time, you can see that it also is giving you some suggestion, even though you're not asking for it. So you're not doing anything, and then you see that ghost code appearing, that it's actually suggesting, okay, this would be the next thing that you can write in here based on what I'm seeing that you've been doing until now. It's helping us, it can help us generate tests, it can help us do the TDD. When TDD, it was cool, very cool some years ago, and everyone was like, oh, discussing about it. This is doing it for us right now, even looking into the corner cases of our code. So it's very specific about this. Also, it is helping us with documenting our code. So we can just go in there, even generate comments, generate documentation for this. We are going to play a bit with it later. So it seems that it is a pretty dependable a tool that can help us in doing things more efficiently. And I know that maybe there are some, that are thinking, oh, but isn't this making us lazy? Like, I'm taking this code and I'm just putting it into my code space. Do you feel lazy when you're using Copilot or ChatGPT? No. Yeah, I see it, yes, it's like, oh, yeah, yeah. Well, the way I see it is that we have more time to think about the complex tasks, think about maybe more on how to organize bigger components, or in the architecture part of our product, or how to resolve some flows that are business related and so on. So we are not just thinking now about, okay, how to write the best version of my little piece of code, but more like I have the context now to work with more complex tasks. And we are discussing a bit about how this works. So basically, it goes like this. You're writing some instruction in your IDE, and then Copilot is like, okay, so basically, I'm going to look around, see what is the local context of what we are using in here. First is looking into the document where you're writing. Yeah, it's seeing what are the patterns, how are you using things, if there are some comments, exactly what is happening in there. Then it's looking at the other files that are opened. Yeah. Then it's taking into consideration the repo that you have, and with that information, it's going further. Yeah, and it's basically taking your instruction and the information that he gathered from your repo, and it's taking it next to the model that it has and that is being used behind the scenes in order to give you the best suggestion. Also looking at the, not only the practices that you're using in your code and your pattern, but also the general best practices and patterns that are being used in development in general. And maybe you are going to see that if you're using something that is pretty popular and it's used at a moment and it has a lot of feedback and there is a lot of open source code out there to compare to, you're going to see that maybe the suggestions are better and more focused. If you're working with maybe a language that is not that popular or it's just in the beginning, it's just the start, the suggestions might be a bit, generic and not that specific to that, because it also needs to be trained and it needs a lot of input in order to be trained. And we were discussing about the local context. Let's see a bit how we can create this local context. So for example, when you are working on an issue, let's say you are trying to fix a bug, and you just start doing things over and over again to see, okay, where this is coming from, where did it start? So you're going from file to file to file. You're opening some files. Those files represent basically the context that you are using for that problem specific. So not the context of the code base that you are using, but for the problem. So when we are in our IDE and we are trying to just get some suggestion, it's going to look first in your file, in the open file that you have, on the names that you are using. And in here I want to highlight the fact that that the oldest maybe rule in programming is to give meaningful names. Well, then again we are going back to the basics and we are just give the names that actually represent what your function is supposed to do. The single responsibility principle, doing just one thing, and let it be seen from the title exactly what is in there that it's supposed to do in that function per se. So it's looking at the names, it's looking at the comments that you have in there or documentation, the code that you have that it's related to that, and then to the files, and it's creating this local context for you to have as specific as possible information. Maybe is just giving suggestions with maybe a model that you are using in your code directly. So you don't have to specify, I want it with this model precisely. It's just creating the context based on all this information. Okay. Before going to actually playing with these tools, I just have one more thing. And it's related to the fact that when we are thinking about integrating it in our project, we just need to take a step back and to see exactly what are we expecting from this tool. So am I expecting it to fix all my bugs? Maybe I shouldn't use it. I'm expecting it to do my, for it to do my job, and I'm just going to go hiking for the week. Then again, it's not going to do that. Let's see exactly what the tool can do and if it's really needed into our project, because maybe sometimes we can use other options that are more cost-effective and easier to use, or we already use them. So don't jump into it just because it's a new thing. Then we are discussing about choosing relevant AI technologies. What do you need it for? Do you need it for data processing? Do you need it for images, for text, for code? What is exactly the scenario where you need it in your product? Check also how it integrates. It's easy to integrate into your code. It's compatible with what you are having. It means that maybe the effort of maintaining it's bigger than the effort of development. Just take this into consideration when you are considering this kind of tool. Then when you're integrating it, let's say, okay, you analyze it is the best thing for you. When you integrated it, don't go directly on your code base, on your big project and put it in there, but more like try to work with it on a, do a POC, try to work with it on a smaller code base, see how it reacts, see how things are going, and then train your team, then put it into your project. Take into consideration also adapting to how these tools are evolving once you added them to your workspace. Collaborate with your team and be sure that everyone understands how to use them, not only yourself, just because you, let's say, are putting more work into learning new tools and so on. Also, get information on the ethics of this, on how to, or make sure that you are okay with all the security and the privacy, information and the terms that you have when using this kind of tool, and that you're okay with maybe some data to be used for that model to be trained and so on. So inform yourself before actually using it, especially when we are discussing about a project that is in production, so it needs a lot of attention. So now let's play a bit with it. Let's see. One sec. Cool. Okay, so let's start with ChatGPT. Since we don't have a lot of time, I'm not going to go into the details on how we are connecting, but I'm going to go into the details of if you're seeing what I'm doing in here. Let's see. Is it visible? It's okay? Yeah, cool. Okay, so let's say that I'm just going to go right now back into the role of that developer, as was mentioning before. I have this very annoying colleague that it's always like picking on the smallest details of my code. So I want to show him that, or her, or, I'm doing better right now. Let's see if the internet connection is working too. This would help. One sec. I might not be able to show this colleague of mine how good I am. One sec. Let's try again. Let's see. Nope. Nope. No, it is. And you can put. Let's see. Yeah, it's working. Have I told you that you cannot do this without an internet connection? Have I mentioned that? Yeah. How can I assist you today? Oh, happy that you asked this. So going back to, after resolving this, this issue that always happens when you're doing a demo. This is like the curse of the demo sessions. So just bear with me. Okay, so let's say that I have this code. I'm just going to take some random code that I have in here, a service. And I'm going to, going back to the prompting part we were discussing before. So basically I have to be clear. I have to give context. give the persona. Maybe it's relevant to give the persona for it to know exactly how to report to my code and how I want the answer. So basically, let's say I am a software developer and I need you to review my code as a senior developer, a rigid senior developer. Explain every suggestion that you have for this code. And I'm giving it the code, and I'm waiting for it. It's also explaining a bit what I'm doing in here, in there, and stuff like that. And then I could be more consistent in the naming conventions, true. And also is explaining exactly how I can improve that code. So this is cool. It's going okay with what I requested. It's telling me about the error handling and so on because I don't have that, so that would be good. Oh, you know, it's a good thing to keep in mind. And let's see another suggestion, and then we are going to stop it because, and then use async await, definitely. Constants and URL management, very good. Okay, I'm gonna stop it for now. Let's see the next thing. Let's say, okay, I'm okay with this, but for example, I'm just going to say, just give me the refactored version of this code, respecting best practices. So I don't want explanations. Let's see if it knows, without me telling it that I don't want explanation, if it's still going to give explanations. It's loading. Loading. Yeah, so basically the review that it's doing, it's how I would like my colleagues to do reviews, you know, and not just fix this, that is not okay, try again, no, rejected, rejected. You know, this is a nice way. It's like, it's the ideal colleague that you always wanted in your code, right? As I said, we can learn something about interactions and everything from this. Since it's not responding right now, I'm guessing it's because of the internet connection. I'm not going to push it, so we don't have to wait. But you got the idea, so you can play with it afterwards on your code. You're going to go on Monday with this huge PR with a lot of best practices, I'm sure of that. Like, you know, just send a message on LinkedIn or on Twitter on how you've been dealing with this on Monday, when you amazed everyone and you become the colleague of the month. Okay, let's move a bit in the hope that it's going to go a bit better on the Copilot part. Let's go a bit on Copilot, yeah, on our coding. So it's the same function that we are looking before. So I'm looking like, okay, what can I do first? Let's say, for example, that I have in here get category, search cocktail, get cocktail. So basically this is a Friday or Saturday evening kind of application, if you know what I mean. So let's say that right now I wanted to generate for me some function that deletes cocktails. Yeah, so create a function that deletes a cocktail. Let's see how it. Waiting for it. I'm guessing again it's about the internet connection. Let's see. Okay, if it's not answering, like, let's go directly with the maybe, let's see. Meanwhile, I take a coffee. Yeah, I'm thinking about the review that I'm going to have later and how I'm going to write in there. Such a great developer that I am. I'm so good. Okay, and basically it generated for us a function. Let's see exactly. Okay, so let's see, I'm looking in here and maybe I'm not very happy with it. Oh. So I'm just going to accept for now, but I'm going to go again and be like, modify. And Copilot has these actions that we can use. So for this, I'm just going to say, I'm just going to go with the fix, see exactly how it's fixing this. What else can it do? So it's also explaining exactly what it's doing. Yeah. And it's actually fixing, you know, as you can see, it fixed the naming that I had. It's fixing the way this looks. So to solve the problem, I would remove the unnecessary import statement and fix the function names to follow camel case convention. So it's helping us with this. Okay, I'm not going to accept for now because I still need the bad code. Another thing to do is, again, we can go and select this. We can either modify using Copilot. And in here we can see again, doc, explain, fix, tests. For now, I'm just going to select that I want to document this, see how it's actually working. Yeah. So it's just putting the information that I have in there, what it returns, what are the parameters, and so on. Cool. We were mentioning also the testing part, right? The tedious part of doing tests. So I'm just going to go this time. Use the command Shift-I and use the chat like this. So basically we are going to say it. We either can put it like this, tests, and it's going to generate tests for us, or we can actually put all the details, okay, I want to test for this, and so on. For this one, precisely, I'm just going to go to select the code, again, since it's the easier, modify using Copilot, and see how it's handling the tests part. Okay, so it's creating also a file with our test. Let's see where it is. Here it is. So it basically created a file with the tests, also with some comments in there for us. Of course, we can go and we can work on the complexity of this to see exactly, you know, we are going back to the reiteration of what is the response of that and making it better, maybe ask more specifically exactly for what we want. But what I can do is also take this test and ask it, okay, by using DDD approach, generate the corresponding function for this test. Let's see if it's doing it backwards also. So let's say, of course, it generated, as he saw, I'm naming my functions in a very bad way. Yeah, so this is the function that it generated from the test. I'm going to accept it for now. Yeah, and you can see that it's respecting. If I've been insisting so much on using this naming convention that he's like, okay, dude, whatever, do your thing. Yeah, and it generated also this. One thing that I really liked, and it's a small thing, but it's like I got so excited about this. It's that, you know how you never know exactly you have a color in mind, but you never know exactly how that color is named, especially when you're doing CSS. So I'm like, give me the, oh, too much. Give me the freshly what? Freshly cut grass color. Yeah. And from what he knows, this is the color of the freshly cut grass color. So this is very cool. I've been so excited about this. I was just like, I just wanted to go and shake someone's hand just because they did this. Like, I like you. I like you very much. Yeah. So we can do a lot of stuff with this. Another thing, and I guess this is going to be the end of our demo. But another thing that I liked very much is the fact that it's also working with helping me create, you know, some PR commit message for it. You know, always having that thing of explaining everything that is happening in there. Maybe if you have someone that just writes in there that you added grass color to the first child container in container CSS, you know, it's something that you can work with. Also, a thing that is very useful is that, you know, when maybe I'm using the wrong command in my terminal and I don't know exactly what is happening in here, I also can get information about what is happening in that area and how I can improve it. It's explaining about the command and so on. So it's a good thing to use. And it also answered to it, but it gave me also explanation. So, you know, it's a talker, this one. It gave me the refactor code, but also some explanation around it. Okay, going back to our presentation. So I find it very nice, despite of the myths that we were discussing in the beginning and so on, I find it very nice that we are in this era, you know, after some years when libraries were just popping, you know, every 5 minutes another JavaScript library, every 5 minutes another thing to do around, you know, the same thing, but maybe a bit different. We have the possibility right now to get to work with something that is actually improving and you know, adding some value to our code. And I find it very, very useful and very, you know, I feel very good that I'm part of this revolution, no matter where this is going to take to. But the thing that I can leave you with is that you are never going to become obsolete if you still learn, improve yourself, and always, you know, look with curiosity at everything that is happening new in your area, in your domain expertise, and so on. So keep an open mind, and yeah, give it a try. You might be the superstar on, as I was saying, on Monday with your PR. Thank you very much. Also, some. And reach me, let's discuss. Also, I'll be around here today, so I'll be happy to discuss further. Thank you.
Thank you, Mihaela. We have time just for a couple of questions coming from the internet.
So the internet is responding.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have 2 minutes. What do you think using AI daily is okay for programmers, even for a small task? I mean, like, have been addicted to tool. And the other question is, have you tried the Microsoft Bing GPT-4? Some differences?
So I'll go with the first one, the one with if it's good. I think that my whole presentation has been about the fact that I consider that it is good but it's good, you know, only if we look at that code and we review it. Like, we see the suggestion and I'm like, okay, I'm going to use my experience, expertise, and so on to actually review that code and see if it's good in my context. If I'm just going blindly, you know, as I was saying, generate this function that I have to do, I'm just putting the, you know, text in my user story, let's say, I'm putting it in there and I'm leaving to do something that is not related to my work, then in that case it might become a problem, because at some point we won't be able to analyze what we're doing in our code. So I think it's only bad if we're using it in a bad way, you know, not for learning something, being productive, being better at our work, but more like, you know, just being a bit lazy and do something else. Maybe we should just switch the job that we have to something that we actually enjoy, if it's not this. And the other one, I used it, but very slightly, so I couldn't like put the finger on the main differences. I'm still getting used to other tools also, so I wouldn't like to have someone judging me after I just give a small idea or information. But yeah, it's I think that we need to look to all of this and pick what we think is the best.
Thank you again,
Thank you.
Mihaela.